Hello guys, this is Pavel from Laravel Daily Team and YouTube channel Laravel Business, and also I'm a founder of QuickAdminPanel, generator for Laravel Admin Panel. And this video will be a demo of what you can do with QuickAdminPanel with team registration. So imagine a typical Laravel project has registration with 4 fields, and what if we want to create the 5th one? Team name. So I will create a demo project with you, partly with QuickAdminPanel. So kind of one first part would be generating, then I will go to multi-tenancy, how it works and how can we expand the registration form with that. And then we also will touch on roles, how it works, roles permissions management. So new registered users would be able to access user management, but only for their team. So something like that. So how to create that? We will go step by step, and step 1 is to actually create a panel inside of QuickAdminPanel. Let's do team registration demo. We create a panel, and by default it comes with user management. So here, while the code is generator, I will explain to you its permissions, roles, and users. That comes by default, and from QuickAdminPanel we only need actually a few modules. One module is called Multi-Tenancy, so it's a restriction for records to be accessed only by certain user or by certain team, and this is exactly what we need here. After clicking install, we can choose user multi-tenancy or team multi-tenancy. So every user sees the records by any member of their team, and we install the multi-tenancy with team multi-tenancy option. Also, by the way, the code has been generated in the background. We don't need to wait for anything. It goes to queue, to the jobs, and it would be generated in a while I'm talking here. Second module we need is registration. By default, admin panel comes without registration, without new user, because it's an admin panel basically. No one can just register. But we can enable that, install, and we don't need any verification for now, or approval. For simplicity, let's create without any settings. And finally, we need some CRUD-based module with content, so we would be able to restrict those CRUDs by team. And for simplicity, we take contact management, which is just 2 CRUDs, companies and contacts. And then we will make them restricted by multi-tenancy. Okay, so we've installed that one. And then we can go to menus, and we can edit the companies and contacts. So here, this part was generated with contact management module, and we can go to companies, and there is a checkbox called use multi-tenancy. So we check that and save the CRUD, and we will do the same thing with contacts. Edit. Click the checkbox, use multi-tenancy, save CRUD. And what happens here is every user will belong to a team, and every user will see the records only by their team. So that is basically all we need from the QuickAdminPanel part, and now we will download the panel, and I will continue in the code in PHP Storm and explain how it all works. Okay, the code has been generated, and the next step is to click download full code, unarchive it, and install locally. Okay, I have installed it locally, and with migrate fresh and with admin login, and let's log in and see how it actually works. So we have user management and team management for admin. So let's try to create a team, and let's see how it all works together. So team 1 and team 2. Then let's create a user. For example, first user com, user with first team, and then first user 2. Well, actually this. So first 2. And I will show you that the users from the same team will see the same records, but the other team's user won't. So second user will be already second user from team 2. And now let's try to log in as first user, for example, and let's see if it all works. So for user, they won't see user management for now. They will see companies and contacts. Let's add some company with form filler. That's a Chrome plugin. I'm not sure what's the name. No, I don't have a name. Some form filler. Google it. So yeah, we have a company and we have a contact that belongs to a company with relationships. So again, form filler. It will fill a lot of fields. And now let's see if the first user 2 sees that data and if second user sees that data. So first 2, that's from the team 1 user, they should see that data because it belongs to the same team. So companies should be present, the record is present, and contacts is also here. But if I log in as second user, that should be probably empty. The list of companies is empty and contacts are empty, and if I try to add a contact, that company isn't in the list because it doesn't belong to the same team. So this is how the default team management and team multi-tenancy works in QuickAdminPanel. Now let's customize it to allow the registration, because by default there is a registration form because we've installed the module, but it's a default 4 fields registration. We will add the 5th one and add a team to the database. And now let's go to PHP Storm. Now I will show you how to turn that default Laravel form for registration with 4 fields into another one, into 5 fields form. So we have a team name to be entered. So while registering, user will enter the team name, and the team will be in the database here. So we have user's team ID field, which is a foreign key to the teams. And how to make it fillable on registration. First, we start with register blade. Open PHP Storm, and let's search for register blade PHP. It's almost default Laravel registration with some bootstrap code. So we just copy and paste, type password into type text, and we have team name here. So we just remove password confirmation here, team name, and also I used the translations here. So login team name will probably come from translation. So we need to add that here. So login team name, or even better, your new team name. So it would be perfectly clear that it's a new team. And basically that's it. We can refresh that, and register form should have that, your new team name, right? Next thing is the controller. Let's go to register controller, which is also default Laravel. What we need to do here, validator and create. So these two methods that we are interested in. And for validator, we need to make sure that the team is unique. So we cannot register to the same team. So team name would be required as well, required string as well, and let's make it unique. And there is a validation rule, unique, database table name, comma, field. So team's name, this one. And let's try it, actually, no, we will try it a little later. Another thing we need to do is to, when creating the user, is to assign team ID. And what is a team ID? We will create it just now. So first, so this function will have basically two actions. So we will create a team. We already have a model for that. So team create name data team name. Data comes from the request, and then we assign that team ID. So it should work unless the team name is already taken. Let's try it out, and let's try with existing team. So we use form filler, but we change team name to team ID, which already exists. We go through registration, and it will see team name has already been taken. And I would like to customize that message. So that's another part of that video, is customized validation message for specific field, for specific rule. Because validator make has a few parameters, and third parameter is actually array of messages, and we can assign that field name team name dot unique, which is rule name, would have a different message. Team name exists if you want to register to existing team, contact team administrator, something like that, administrator. So we customize that, and let's try again. We register again. Form is empty now, form filler, and team1 register, and that is customized message, team name exists. Next thing we need to do is to create a new role in the system called team administrator or team admin, which would be the same as typical user, just with permission of ability to manage users of their own team. By default in QuickAdminPanel we have two roles, and they are seeded in database seeder. Let me find it. Roles table seeder. So this one, let's format it a little. Okay, let's add number 3. Role number 3 would be team admin. So ID 3, title team admin, and we will reseed the whole database. So role is here, and then permission. For permissions table seeder we have quite a few permissions generated for permission, role, user, team, and then contact management. And we have a specific permission roles table seeder which has all the permissions for admin, for role ID 1. Then user permission is filtered, so we don't allow user underscore anything or role underscore or permission underscore to a simple user. But for team admin we will make a few exceptions. So team admin permissions will be admin permissions including the user. So we don't filter out user, but actually instead of user we will filter out team. So team admin won't be able to access teams. Team admin permissions and role 3. And I guess that's it for this part. And what we need to do is to assign the team admin role in registration. So in register controller, in create, here we would need to have user, then we return user, and by default new user in our system gets role ID 2, but we need to change it. So it belongs to many relationships, sync and array 3. So we remove any other roles which are generated, and we assign only team ID 3, role ID 3 as team admin. And let's try it out. So refresh register form. Oh, we need to reseed the database, sorry. So artisan migrate fresh seed. We will reseed all the roles and permissions, so we'll have 3 roles instead of 2. Okay, done. And now let's fill in the form, new team, register, and see what happens. Yep, we are logged in, and we see user management, but only users, so we don't see the teams or roles or permissions. And we see users, and this is the next part we need to work on. We see all the users, including myself and including admin. So we shouldn't see any users by any other teams, and we will tackle that next. For that we have multi-tenancy trait, multi-tenant model trait, which is used used in every CRUD that is affected. So contact company, for example, it has multi-tenant model trait, and we need to add that to user model. So user PHP, in the model we will add model trait, and then if we refresh, we shouldn't see other teams. Oh, there are no other teams actually. Let's check it out. Let's create another user. So the second team, another form filler, another registration, and let's see if I see the previous user from the previous team. No, I don't see that. We only need to fix one more detail. We shouldn't see the records by admin. So in here, small thing, or where no. So this is a trait for global scope, adding global scope for every query that is affected by that trait, every model. It is filtered by team ID. From is a table, so in this case it would be users.teamid, where users team ID equals team ID of logged in user. So if we refresh now, we see only our team members, which is myself only. Next thing, in add or edit user, I need to remove a few fields. So every team admin shouldn't be able to assign roles, because every role will be a simple user, and assign a team because it's within the same team. And for that we need to check it if users create blade, users create blade. We need to hide those fields, so roles and team ID, if something. How do we check if that user is team admin? We will create a special function. If and if, let's leave it like that for now. And within user model, let's add public function is team admin. And we will return true or false based on the roles. Return this roles where role ID equals 3, count. Count basically will return number or false. So if it's team admin, it will return 1. And here we have if auth user is team admin. If not team admin, this. If not team admin, we show those fields, otherwise we will hide it. Yep, that works. And then we will copy the same thing to edit. Edit blade for users. Same thing here. So editing users won't show those fields. Actually, let's test it out. We go to users and we click edit, and those fields are empty. And now let's get back to users controller. Not get back, we haven't opened it. Yeah, that's the first time. So while storing user, we will change that logic a bit. So we will assign request all to some variable. So user data equals request all, and by default role is empty and team is empty. So if let's check it. If user team admin, again, if user is team admin, then we assign user data team ID equals the same as the user's team ID, and user data roles. Actually, roles is another thing, so that's another input. Roles, and if it's team admin, we override it to role ID number 2 actually, sorry. Roles equals 2, so we create only simple users. And also in user request, we need to remove those fields. That's automatically generated, so roles is not required field anymore. Okay, let's try it out. Let's try to create a user within our team. So again, form filler, some random email password, and let's see if that user appears. Yep, it appears successfully, and while editing user, we have to do the same thing. So in update method, it should be pretty similar. Actually, we don't even need, so roles are also not required anymore. We need to have, actually we shouldn't change roles, so if we don't change the team at all, and if is not an admin, is team admin, if it's not a team admin, then we change the roles, otherwise roles stay the same. So probably that change will be enough. Let's try, let's set some password here, and no, actually let's change something. So we would make sure Yahoo with 3 O's, and let's see if it's updated successfully. Yep, 3 O's. So basically that's it. We've created a team registration demo project, partly with QuickAdminPanel, but on top of that, with multi-tenancy, we've extended the registration form with additional field, and we create a new team. We assign that user to a team. It automatically is assigned as team admin, which can create more users. That's it. I hope it was helpful. Check out the QuickAdminPanel for generating code, or I will create a GitHub repository with all the code, and you can download it and see it for yourself, try it out, and maybe learn something outside of QuickAdminPanel, just in Laravel, just with these videos. See you guys in other videos on this channel.